fall under that, period. So we'll go, very interesting, eh? Very interesting. How things have become. I was seeing it today, Prabhus, watching a few things online of our different God brothers. One Jayadvaita, I watched him speak, and I watched a fellow Radhanath, who I knew when I was in Toronto as the president there. And it was very enlightening for me to see this and listen carefully to how they speak. Yes, how they speak. We're going to go to the diaries. Very interesting diaries. We're at the Jaladuta diary. This is Srila Prabhupada. Okay, there's the boat. He was on the beautiful boat that brought him here. And we're in the section, the memorandum section. And I wanted to show you his list of topics that he was going to present in the Bhagavatam of the 12 cantos. So he wrote, The Absolute Truth, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, which we're reproducing, the Delhi Bhagavatams, which are masterpieces, collector's items. 2, Symptoms of Objectivity, Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto. 3, Creation of the Material World, Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. The Sub-Creators, Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto. 5, The Planetary Systems, Srimad Bhagavatam, fifth canto. 6, the Lord the Protector, Srimad Bhagavatam, sixth canto. 7, The Creative Impetus, Srimad Bhagavatam, seventh canto. 8, Change of Manpower, Srimad Bhagavatam, eighth canto. 9, Science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam, ninth canto. 10, Kṛṣṇa, the Cause of All Causes, Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. 11, The Path of Liberation, Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto. And 12, The Summum Bonum, Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto. And I wanted you to see the handwriting of Srila Prabhupada here. Look at that. Just meditate on that handwriting, everyone. The transcendental message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be transmitted by his pure devotee representative. And everything he speaks is Shastra. Everything he did was perfect on the transcendental platform. Someone had a nerve to say that to me online the other day, some idiot from New Zealand, that Prabhupada, you're dead guru, he goes. I follow Tamal. What an idiot. He's lucky I'm not there to say something that stupid. Go ahead, please, next page. Now we're looking at the journey. Here it is, the map again. So Prabhupada setting out from Calcutta and crossing the ocean. Look at that, and he passed over the ocean. It was a 38-day journey, 38 days. And he suffered major health problems, and he survived by the grace of Kṛṣṇa. And he arrived in New York City on September 19th, 1965, and went to Butler, Pennsylvania, of all places. And we all know about Butler now, especially if you're in America. And here we go. We're going to look at the next section here. Take a look at this. Very interesting. This is the back cover of the diary. Srila Prabhupada's signature can be seen fairly faintly, I should say. And take a look at the signature. Hopefully you can see it on the screen. His sacred handwriting. Go ahead, Rupesh, next. Show this. Okay, see it there? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Always a devotee, always focused on his spiritual master, and always focused on the mission that his spiritual master sent him on. That's the most important thing to understand. It's a disciple always remembers his guru and always repeat. Not that we're all of a sudden Jugala Priti. We are the big devotees that are in Prema Bhakti. We are the servants of the servants, Prabhu. It's good to see that Prabhu there, the new Prabhu, the face there. We are the servants of the servants of the servants of Kṛṣṇa. Huh? And here are the prayers written by Srila Prabhupada aboard the Jaladuta. And we read about these earlier, and Prabhupada is now, we've got a section where we're going to read these prayers as part of the addendum. We've got lots to review over the next so many months of these diaries again, and we'll go deeper and deeper into them. So we'll go prayers to the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, on board the Jaladuta, September 13th, 1965. And there's the handwriting. I wanted to share it with you. It appears that it's written in Sanskrit or Hindi. And we'll go ahead. Translation. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Translation. Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord. Please note here, Prabhus, what is the first reference? His guru. That is our first reference. Remember that. Don't make a deal with Prabhupada and Kṛṣṇa to become a businessman in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. In his service to the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa, he is the great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Kṛṣṇa at different places throughout the world. Translation. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga, by his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. Well, Prabhupada's predicting his success. In all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Kṛṣṇa. Translation. Go ahead, please. Thank you. In the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. Wow. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. Translation. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I'm very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I'm begging you for your mercy so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. If you bestow your power by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. Put yourself in this position, everyone, please. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association of material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant, Narada Muni, kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me on how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsingadev, Bhagavatam 7:9-28. Translation, O Lord Kṛṣṇa, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya, birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. Translation, O dear friend, in your company, I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking in the many forests of Braja. I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? Remember this. Everything the spiritual master speaks is Shastra. That's Prabhupada. Today, that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way because I have a great longing. I call to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Kṛṣṇa, except for you, there is no other means of success. And that will end that section for today. So thank you very much, everyone. I commend you on your devotional service and commitment to Srila Prabhupada. That is what makes us happy, your commitment. We'll move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, and then we'll have the reading and discussion from the unedited, unadulterated translation of Bhagavad Gita 1972, which I'm enjoying so much again, Yashodanandana Prabhu, to read. And thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should begin. I can't read, the screen is too small where that thing is here. One should offer respectful obeisances, one, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, two, to Srila Narayana Rishi, three, to the speaker, to the goddess Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and four, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as discussed earlier by Vishwakarma Prabhu. This reading and discussion is based upon the non-adulterated, non-edited, non-interpolated 1972 original Bhagavad Gita, the Macmillan edition. All synonyms, translations, and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. I see that our good friend Krishna Kata is exhibiting this Bhagavad Gita right on the screen as we speak. He's presenting the original cover, which represents the original book that we will be reading from. As we do every week, we will be reading a few selected verses from the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita that Prabhupada introduced in 1966 in New York. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam. Next slide. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and to the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We will proceed with our reading from the Bhagavad Gita. Today we'll be reading from chapter 11. Rupesh. Text number 37. We invite everyone to listen to the Sanskrit and try to chant along with us. We will also be reading the word for word. Kasmaschate na namiran mahatman gariyase brahmanopi adikartre ananta devesha jagannivasa Tvamaksharam sadasat tatparam yat kasmat. Why? Cha also. Te unto you. Na not. Nameran offer proper obeisances. Mahatman, O great one. Gariyase, you are better than. Brahmanaha, Brahma. Api, although. Adikartre, the Supreme Creator. Ananta, unlimited. Devesha, God of the gods. Jagan Nivasa, O refuge of the universe. Tvam, you are. Aksharam, imperishable. Sat Asat, cause and effect. Tatparam, transcendental. Yat, because. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O Great One, who stands above even Brahma, you are the original master. Why should they not offer their homage up to you, O Limitless One? O refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purport by His Divine Grace. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all-pervading, and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devesha means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the center of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and all powerful demigods offered their respectful obeisances unto him, because no one is greater than him. He especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma, because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel abdomen of Garbho Dakashayi Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma and all other demigods, must offer their respectful obeisances. Thus the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature, as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all-great supreme. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandanam Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataham Adadadastrinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimadrupa Padam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavato Smyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Sat Karomi Svam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Bhagavad Gita is very, very specific about Krishna's personality. As we all know, this book was spoken, it was sung, Gita, by Bhagavan himself, Bhagavat. In one lecture, Srila Prabhupada one time explained what is the meaning of Bhagavat or Bhagavan. Eshvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashastriya jnanam viryanam sannam bhagayitingana. That these 6 qualities of fame, beauty, strength, renunciation, wealth, that these qualities are in full with the Supreme Personality of God in himself. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita we find Krishna in the 7th chapter declares to Arjuna, Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchidasti Dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, let it be known that there is no truth superior to me. When we say the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is nicely explained in that verse, chapter 7, text number 7. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 8, Krishna explained further his position. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. This says, I'm the source of everything, material and spiritual. All of you, or I'm assuming most of you, are familiar with the famous verse from the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, text 1, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. Krishna explains, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, the chief engineer in the universe, is explaining what is Krishna's position. Krishna is the Supreme, Parama, Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha. He has a form made of transcendental bliss, knowledge, and eternity. Anadir, he has no origin. Adir, he is the origin of everything. Govinda, his name is Govinda. Sarvakarana Karanam, he is the source of everyone, of everything. We see in this purport, in text number 37, Prabhupada is explaining very nicely the position of Lord Krishna. Krishna is called Devesha, Deva Isha. He is the master of all the demigods. He is the supreme controller over and above all the demigods. There is a common misconception, especially in India, that all the gods are the same. This is Mayavad idea, impersonalist idea. But this is not a fact. This is a misconception. Based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, specifically, for example, this verse, it says, Ananta Devesha Jagannivasa Tvamaksharam Sadasattat Param Yat. O refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So this is very important, because we find many persons who do not patiently and correctly study the Bhagavad Gita from authoritative acharya in a disciplic succession. We all know that Prabhupada mentions in his introduction to Bhagavad Gita that there are many, many commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, but most of them do not give proper respect and proper understanding of the personality of Krishna. One has to be very careful about this. As we know, many times persons claim to be Vaishnavas, claim to be followers of Krishna or Lord Vishnu, but yet they maintain many mistaken ideas, many misconceptions. That is why throughout all of Prabhupada's teachings, his various books, his various lectures, his various conversations, he reemphasizes this point every single day, that you are not this body, you are an eternal spirit soul. You are meant to engage yourself in the service of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But many will object. They will say, oh, all gods are the same. Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Ganesh, all the same. No, it is not the same. Bhagavad Gita does not support this mistaken, offensive idea. Srila Prabhupada used to often quote from the Padma Purana, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devate Samatvena Bhiksheta Sapashandi Bhavet Dhruvam. If one thinks that the great demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and so many others are the same as Lord Vishnu or Narayana, this is considered offensive. One becomes a Pashandi, or a blasphemer. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, so many persons are affected by this nonsense, Mayavadi, impersonalist propaganda. One should study the Bhagavad Gita in authorized parampara. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4? Evam parampara praptam Imam Raja Rishayo Viduhu. One has to study the Bhagavad Gita in the proper parampara, bona fide disciplic succession. Otherwise, one will guarantee to misunderstand Bhagavad Gita. One has to hear from a realized Acharya. This is the recommendation of Srimad Bhagavatam, recommendation of all the Vedas, tad vinyanartam gurumeva bigachet, shamit panihi shrutriyam brahmanistam. In Ishopanishad, it is described, iti shushrumadiranam. One should hear from one who is a dhira. Prabhupada explained, one who is not disturbed by the whirlpool of the material energy or the influence of the various modes of material nature. And this is very important because we see, especially those of you who may have been in India, we meet so many persons who are very friendly, who are very favorable, but unfortunately who have been affected and infected by this false propaganda that all the gods are the same. This is like equating the Minister of Economic Development with the Prime Minister. It is not the same. It is a responsible position. It is a high position to be delegated as Economic Minister, but it is not the same as the Prime Minister. It's like a king. The king is the absolute monarch in a Vedic system. And the king always has ministers, advisors, but they're not on the same level as the king. So this is very important because this is the beginning of spiritual life, to understand who is God, who is Krishna. In Bombay in 1972, at Mr. Kartikeya Madhavya's place near the ocean, he had a beautiful flat overlooking the ocean, and he had invited many persons to come and meet Srila Prabhupada. So on one such occasions, one person came and was challenging Prabhupada, talking about Christianity. Prabhupada, that is very nice. So you follow Krishna, Christ's instruction, But why is it that these persons are so busy disobeying the instructions of Jesus Christ? As we all know in the Bible, it is said, thou shalt not kill. Why are they so busy killing so many animals? The person really had no answer. Then Prabhupada said, one should accept Bhagavad Gita, the person Kṛṣṇa. And then Prabhupada asked this person, so according to you, who is God? Who is the Supreme Person? What does he do? Where does he live? What are his qualities? The person said, I don't know. He's just great. And Prabhupada said, well, if you don't know how great he is, how you can love him? If you don't accept Kṛṣṇa as God, then who is God? Explain. One cannot have a stubborn idea or simply a sentimental idea, emotional idea, and say, oh, God is great. Well, that's nice. That's a good start. That's commendable. But how great he is. What does he do? What are his qualities? Where does he live? How do you reach this person? That is why in the Vedas, there's description that you cannot understand God simply by mental speculation or simply by logic and argument. In the Mahabharata and also in the Vedas, there is description that by tarka, simply by logic, you cannot achieve the absolute truth. Tarka pratishtanat. Simply by logic, it is not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many times when Prabhupada was asked, can you show me God? Prabhupada would say, yes, but you have to develop the eyes to see God. You have to learn how to see God. And that you have to learn from somebody who has seen God himself, a bona fide, realized, fully liberated acharya or pure devotee. And that is the person of Srila Prabhupada. There was one interesting story how a lady disciple of Srila Prabhupada went to see Srila Prabhupada one time, and she pointed out to a picture of Srila Prabhupada that was very grave, very stoic. And she told Prabhupada, you seem to be very sad in this picture. And Prabhupada looked at her and said, oh, no, that was not a moment of sadness. That was a moment of great ecstasy. That is the difference between the vision of a neophyte and a liberated soul. One cannot speculate and concoct and invent ideas and misinterpret the position of a pure devotee from our imperfect senses. One has to hear the message from the pure devotee in a submissive way. So many times Prabhupada would say, yes, you approach a guru with submission and service, then you will understand. I personally was in Prabhupada's room many times where Prabhupada would tell the guests, just try to understand. And so many times Prabhupada would repeat this because Prabhupada was quite aware they were not quite understanding what he was saying. They were listening, but really not properly hearing. And this is the problem we're facing now. Many persons who think we have imagined that they understand Prabhupada's teachings, but that by their behavior and what they say, we can see they do not understand. And this leads me to a little booklet that has been published by the Kṛṣṇa Balaram Temple in Vrindavan. It's a booklet on deity worship. And the reason I want to read from this is very important because we've discussed this before of what is the proper process and procedure to offer bhoga or foodstuff so that it becomes prasadam. We all know Prabhupada gave us a certain system. Of course, one should offer with love and devotion. That is the main point. But there's a system. There is an authorized system given by the authorized acharya. In this booklet, there is a place here. One devotee, Madhvisa, wrote very nicely about this, and he criticized, unfortunately, on page 30 of the Deity Worship Manual states, note, it should be understood that by the mercy of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, we are able to engage in the service of the Lord in his Archa Vigraha, like offering Bhoga, and therefore we ask his permission first in order to be able to serve. Then at the end, after the offering, we meditate that Srila Prabhupada and your spiritual master, where appropriate, are taking the remnants both in Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila after all the associates have taken. Now, anyone who's got a little bit of experience in Prabhupada teachings knows this is complete sahaja, nonsense. One cannot just imagine that one is in Gaura Lila, like jumping on some kind of trampoline, and imagining that one is associate with Lord Chaitanya or Krishna. Hey, we don't deny that it's quite possible. It is possible, but one cannot advertise like this, claiming that, oh, my guru is taking prasadam with Krishna. It's a pious belief, but the reality is different. Madhvisa says this is completely bogus, a concoction. Srila Prabhupada warned us in a 1973 letter to Dhruvananda, quote, the greatest danger to our movement will come when we manufacture and create our own process for worshiping the deities. So don't ask any more new questions. Whatever is going on, follow it just to the exact standard as given you. That's all. So the problem is that after the departure of Srila Prabhupada, in the collective wisdom, some of the leaders in the movement decided they had to change the process of offering the foodstuff, the bhoga, which is the result is, what are they eating? If you don't follow the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, if one disobeys the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, how does it become prasadam? How? One cannot offend the acharya, disobey the acharya, disrespect the acharya, and think, oh, I'm going to be taking prasadam now. You're not. What you are is taking non-offered bhoga. And you should follow the proper instruction given by Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Quite a bit of information there in a very short discussion by you or presentation. So we truly appreciate that very much. And insights that you had personally with Srila Prabhupada that you're sharing with us. And this is a great treasure for all of us, because you cannot minimize personal association with the pure devotee. There's also the Vani association and there's personal association. Both are extremely beneficial for everyone. So just hearing these pastimes that you have with Srila Prabhupada is very much appreciated by all of us here at this group. And I wanted to go just quickly, Nilesh, to the purport here today that we're reading. The universal form. I just want to read the first sentence there at the top, Rupesh, from text 37, the universal form, the purport. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all-pervading. He is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means he is the most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord, and Devasha means that he is the controller of all demigods and he is above them all. He is the center of the whole universe. And further, I wanted to mention that in the Nectar of Devotion, the definition of God is given by Srila Prabhupada in his introduction. That Kṛṣṇa means and includes everything. Very comprehensive explanation of Krishna's position given by the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. And as you said, Prabhu, Yashodanandana Prabhu, is very dangerous when people speculate or manufacture or concoct philosophy for personal reasons. Self-aggrandizement, generally, that's the case. And I wanted to, recently there is the Olympics going on. And we see all these people, young people, by the way, very young people, and Bhaktijat is in France there right now. I know he's not watching it, but I do manage to see some of the programs that are there, the events, out of curiosity. And you see the people singing, like there's a singer from Canada. Her name is Celine Dion. Now she's from Quebec. Now this lady is one of the best singers in the world. Absolutely. If not the top singer. And she's recognized by everyone. But where does she get the talent? Where does that come from? That all of a sudden you're gifted with this talent. It comes from Kṛṣṇa. That's where it comes from. Not from them. Sure, they may do some kind of discipline, practice. But the natural born talent, due to good karma, obviously, comes from Kṛṣṇa. And a person develops that, and they become world famous just for singing. Paurusham Nishu. We're going to read from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute, text 8. Rasoham apsu konteya prabhasmi sasi suryaho pranav sarva vedeshu shabde kehe purusham nishu. We'll read the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Go directly to thank you. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. Purusham Nrishu, the ability in man. Purport. This verse explains how the Lord is all-pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord can be preliminarily perceived by his different energies, and in this way, he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all-pervading energy, the sunshine, similarly, the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all-pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction of water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying water to quench man's thirst. A very interesting distinction there by Srila Prabhupada. That is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, There is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and personal conception are simultaneously present in everything, and that there is no contradiction. Again, further, I was saying, God means, Kṛṣṇa means, and includes everything there is. We are nothing in this world except insignificant, tiny specks. And by the grace of the Lord, we're now associated with Srila Prabhupada in his Vani incarnation. Therefore, the Lord Chaitanya established his sublime doctrine, Achinta Bheda and Abheda Tattvam, simultaneously one and different. So, very interesting that Kṛṣṇa is present in everything, and it is up to us to rise up to that understanding through the torchlight of knowledge. And that knowledge comes from the bona fide spiritual master, Nilesh, as you know. And when you listen carefully and assimilate that into your consciousness, you can become Kṛṣṇa conscious by the grace, by the mercy of the spiritual master. There is no other way than this way. And any other deviation from this is an unfortunate misrepresentation of the philosophy by some ambitious people, and that is a major, major mistake in spiritual practice. Yashodanandana Prabhu, please.
You are raising some very, very important points. Why? Because we see at the present moment many persons who are advertising themselves and posing as representative of Prabhupada, claiming that they are representing the teachings in a disciplic succession from Srila Prabhupada. When we carefully examine what those people say and how they behave, then it's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I mean. This is from a conversation in New York on July 14th, 1976. July 14th, 1976. And basically, this was compiled by our good friend Mahesh Raja in England.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the title that he is given is Divine Grace is Always Consulting Kṛṣṇa. And pay attention to the sequence here. Balimardan, in other words, when you decide that someone is to be in charge of a particular temple, does Kṛṣṇa tell you that this person should be in charge? Interviewer, or do you, by judging him, say this person is qualified? Prabhupada, yes, because a devotee always consults Kṛṣṇa and he gives order. Interviewer, it's a more direct communication? Prabhupada, yes, and he gives order. Rameswar, or because intelligence, our philosophy is that intelligence comes from Kṛṣṇa, so if you have some interviewer, and your philosophy is that your daily necessities come from Kṛṣṇa as well? Prabhupada, Rameswar, just try to understand. Suppose my intelligence sees that this person is qualified. That means Kṛṣṇa has told me. Prabhupada, no, not necessarily. Kṛṣṇa will tell directly. A devotee always consults Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa tells him, do like this, not figuratively. Interviewer, does that apply then to other kinds of decisions and other kinds of activities as well? Prabhupada, everything, because a devotee does not do anything without consulting Kṛṣṇa. The point here, Prabhupada is explaining the difference between a devotee on the highest level and neophyte devotees, whether they're Madhyam neophytes or Kanishta neophytes. And this is a very important point. Again, from Antyalila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 5, text 71. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, chapter 5, text number 71. One is forbidden to accept the guru or spiritual master as an ordinary human being. Guru Shunaramati. When Ramananda Roy spoke to Pradyumna Mishra could understand that Ramananda Roy was not an ordinary human being. A spiritually advanced person who acts with authority of the spiritual master speaks as the Supreme Personality of God. It dictates from within. Thus, it is not he that is personally speaking. When a pure devotee or spiritual master speaks, what he says should be accepted as having been directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of God in the Parampara system. And here's the point. Those people that have changed, that have disrespected Srila Prabhupada, disobeyed Prabhupada and changed his book, changed his teachings, and twisted his teachings, do not represent the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All they're doing is speaking out their own mental speculation and concoctions, to whom it may concern. Thank you.
Very good point, and that's brought up in the further in the final chapter of the Anchalila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that everything that the Acharya speaks is Shastra. Everything. And so we should always appreciate this ability to be able to hear in a detailed fashion how to understand Krishna consciousness from the lips of the pure devotee, Shruta. There are so many different verses, millions of different verses, Nileshama, as you know, millions. And they're summaries of the truth of the purpose of human life. And Prabhupada so beautifully has given these purports in all of his books for us fallen souls, especially from the West here, who were never familiar, and now we're being educated by his mercy, summarizing all of the essence of this philosophy so that we, in one lifetime, can make advancement and go back home, back to Godhead, by his mercy. So it's possible. Dharma Bhavana in Dallas, Texas. We'll go to our panel of members that will be discussing it. And we'll start with Dharma Bhavana, and we'll go to Nilesh and of Krishna Katha and Bhaktijad today in the panel. And anyone else that wants to put their hand up, by all means, go ahead if you feel so motivated. Dharma Bhavana in Dallas, Texas.
Well, I was going to read from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 45. What happened recently...
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita, what was that again? Just for Rupesh.
Chapter 6, text 45.
Chapter 6, text 45. Rupesh. Okay, go ahead, Dharma Bhavana,
Yeah,
please.
I was recently speaking to a new devotee, a new member, and I was just explaining how whatever devotional service you do is recorded somewhere. It's eternal. It's going to help you even in the next life, that you pick up where you left off in this life. And the devotee asked, well, is there some exact verse that says that? And I had forgotten that there's 4 or 5 verses in a row which explain this subject matter. And the reason why it was a little bit hard for this devotee to understand, because we can understand the soul, we're the soul, spirit soul, there's a super soul accompanying us. Krishna's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then putting all this together in some kind of realization may take a lot of hearing for someone to really have strong faith in this. And so I said, yeah, whatever you do is recorded, and there's a number of verses that explain this in Bhagavatam, and especially in Bhagavad Gita. So this is kind of what you spoke about before, but this is kind of a culmination of text 45. But when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, Yet ultimately, after many, many bursts of practice, he attains the supreme goal. For the person born in a particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Kṛṣṇa consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed of all contaminations. This confirmed the Bhagavad Gita. So I just wanted to kind of mention a few things there that there are a number of verses that help us deal with this completely. And I really like Yashodananda Prabhu's class today because it's so important, even for the older devotees, to have complete faith in how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He has so many energies, and he conducts all the affairs of the material world through his energies. So I just thought I'd mention a few things here. Thank you, Haribo.
Glories to Prabhupada. Yes, that's true. And your point about the benefits of devotional service are eternal is a very good one. That anything done on behalf of Srila Prabhupada to serve his mission is part of what's called the imperishable science, inexhaustible science of Krishna consciousness. And devotional service is on that eternal platform. And therefore, if we practice devotional service according to the rules and regulations, we're eternally benefited. And just before we move to Nilesh Sharma, I wanted to make a comment here. One devotee was asking Prabhupada in Australia if he was eternally connected to Srila Prabhupada in this life. And Prabhupada's answer to him, Krishna Katha, was this: if you're engaged in devotional service under my direction, I'm paraphrasing, that is eternal, and therefore we're connected. If you're not, where's the connection? So the connection is there on the transcendental platform through the performance of devotional service. Nilesh Sharma in Fort Lauderdale, or maybe Miami, or wherever you are. It looks like you're at your house again today.
Fort Lauderdale. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. A very interesting class. I had some points which I jotted down.
Please.
In the beginning of the class, you mentioned about Prabhupada's prayer, where
Yes.
he says that he is not worthy of this mission
Yeah.
to propagate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Now, look at the difference between the material world and the spiritual world. No matter how qualified or how pure a devotee you are always appear in front of your Guru Maharaj as what? As the biggest fool.
Yes.
Remember, when we chant the Hanuman Chalisa, we say, Buddhihina tanu janake, sumiro pavana kumar. Meaning, you approach Lord Hanuman without no buddhihin, means without any intelligence. You should appear as fool number one. So then how can you say, I am the next worthy person to be the next guru? Because that is material contamination. Just imagine corporate world. If I want to go and approach the CEO and tell him, I am the next CEO, I am the most next worthy CEO, because I want to portray myself, project myself accordingly. And this is what the material world is. But in the spiritual world, it is completely opposite. That is why Prabhupada says, only by my order, the spiritual master orders his disciple to become the next Acharya. Because otherwise, he appears to the spiritual master as fool number one, unworthy of him being of any position. So understand this distinction. That's point number one. Number two, Yashodanandan Prabhu talked about is the confusion which goes on a lot in India between different gods. Now remember one thing. Unfortunately, in India also we are losing our touch with the Sanskrit language and even with the Hindi language and basic languages. If we look at the demigod, how are they addressed? As Devi Devtas. Remember, there is a separate word in the Hindi dictionary and the Sanskrit dictionary to refer to these demigods. They're called Devi Devtas. But how do we refer to as Kṛṣṇa as? How does Vyasdev refer to Kṛṣṇa as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha? Have you ever heard, and I challenge anybody from any part of the world to see that wherever you have mentioned Kṛṣṇa, that Kṛṣṇa is mentioned as a Devi or a Devata? Kṛṣṇa is never mentioned as a Devata. He is always referred to as Purna Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Kṛṣṇa. Purna Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Kṛṣṇa. But when we translate Devi Devtas to English, when we translate Bhagavan to English, it comes to only one word, which is God. And on that, the whole mental concoction has been built up. So even if we were to study on a Hindi basis or on the Devanagari language basis, we will see that there is a distinction between the two. Kṛṣṇa is never referred to as Devi, as a Devata or a Deva. You see, even when we refer to Lord Shiva, what do we refer to him as? As Mahadev, the great amongst the Devas. You see, the great amongst the Devas. And Prabhupada mentions also in some places that such great personalities sometimes are referred to as Bhagavan, because it is the great personality. So this confusion is mainly because of the transliteration of translations into the English language, which we all know has a lot of limitations. It's not the perfect language. And then coming to the last point, which Yashodanandan Prabhu was saying from that booklet, which made me really smile, is that these gurus, so-called gurus, have become gurus because, number one, everybody thinks they are worthy of becoming a guru. Nobody thought that they are not worthy of becoming a guru. And everybody is following the corporate style that nominate me. I'm going to put in the application and then nominate me and then elect me and choose me. And that's how I become a guru. So the knowledge we can get are two ways. Aroha Pantha, Avaroha Pantha. What is Aroha Pantha? Ascending knowledge from the bottom up. What is Avaroha Pantha? Descending knowledge from coming up from the authorities down. Now, the so-called gurus cannot get their certification from the Avaroha Pantha aspect, meaning they cannot get the certification from Prabhupada. They cannot get the certification from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So how do I get the certification? Let the disciples propagate me into pushing me into imagining that I, the spiritual master, is having prasadam with Kṛṣṇa and with Srila Prabhupada and everything. But mind you, for all those people who think in this particular manner, when you take that bhoga dish and offer it to your spiritual master, and when he takes it to his spiritual master, which is so-called Srila Prabhupada, will Srila Prabhupada accept it after having disobeyed his instructions? So then your bhoga stops right at your spiritual master. It does not go up the disciplic succession. Will it ever become prasadam? These are the thoughts we need to kind of really dwell on. You know, go into these details as to what exactly this is the meaning of, you see. And otherwise, we're going to be lost. And when we are lost, then everything is, you know, if your intelligence is lost, everything is lost. So be very discerning. Be very discerning. Surrender through your intelligence. Do not surrender your intelligence. Hare Krishna. I would love to know what Yashodanandan Prabhu has to say about this certification of Aropanta and Aropanta.
We'll move to him just quickly. We'll just get a few comments. Yashodanandana Prabhu, if it's okay, we'll just move quickly through the panel. Kṛṣṇa Katha can make a few comments if he feels so motivated, and then Bhaktijad, and then we'll wind up with Yashodanandana's summary. Kṛṣṇa Katha, please. In San Diego.
Hare Krishna. I thought Yashoda was going to comment on Nilesh. Nilesh really dug deep into the intricacies of our wonderful science of devotional service. And I can just speak to that a little bit. We all know that we all went through some kind of science class. And so the teacher always tells us, these are the steps that you need to take to get this result. And if you deviate from these steps, we want to see what you're going to get, but I guarantee you're not going to get the result. And so naturally, everyone in the class, maybe half of them actually follow the steps. They do get the desired result, and they mark that down. The other half of the class is distracted, or they have some kind of alternative motive. They have ambition. They want to see what will happen if I combine this chemical with this, other liquid. And of course, sometimes there's disaster and chaos and explosion and all this kinds of nonsense. So this is a small example, but it is a enlightening example that what we are seeing, and it will run its course, but what we are seeing in Prabhupada's beautiful ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, that he mercifully gave us, is a science project gone wrong. It's a science project that you have so much deviation that you have, not the desired result. So I just wanted to make that point, that we all know that our sadhana, that Prabhupada gave us this disciplinary process, that's step 1 and step 2, right? Follow the 4 regulated principles. Don't speculate. Speculation is gambling. And chant your 16 rounds or more every day attentively. So just those 2 steps in the process is enough to get the desired result. Prabhupada and Kṛṣṇa will take you and take up the rest if you're not able to do other parts of that entire scientific process. They pick you up. They take you because you've remained diligent to those first 2 steps in the process. Of course, there's many more. Nilesh just opened up an amazing, treasure of much more that we can do. But just by doing those main 2 that Prabhupada wanted us to do is the discipline that comes from the word disciple. So that's all I wanted to comment on. This is another amazing class, Prabhus. This is our connection. This is part of that scientific process. Prabhupada always encourages, associate with devotees. You can't do it on your own. You cannot. You have to associate. And through the mystic potency of Kṛṣṇa, this amazing online energy where we can all come together in this medium, this format, is astonishing. This is Kṛṣṇa allowing us to associate with each other through fiber optic, online, satellite, cable, you name it, it's all happening. So we appreciate it so much that you both take your time 3 times a week and present all of us with most amazing parts of this philosophy that Prabhupada has given us. And we are associating with Srila Prabhupada through his sincere disciples. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada. Jai.
Haribol. Yes, it is a yogic city. It really is. It's an amazing opportunity for all of us to associate through this medium. And we're dovetailing it. This is the idea. Whatever we have, we offer it as service to Lord Chaitanya and to Srila Prabhupada in their mission. And Bhaktijat, any final comments before Yashoda speaks?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for sharing this pure nectar. And I wanted to make a quick note about the Olympics, because last time Vishwakarma Prabhu spoke about it, and I was thinking about it, that what does Srila Prabhupada say about all this unnecessary sport? And there's a very quick thing that I want to read from Prabhupada. He's speaking in 1968 about the 4 regulative principles. And he says, quote, "The 4th restriction is that you cannot take part in gambling or some unnecessary sporting, because you have to utilize your time. Your time is very short. If you miss opportunity of human form of, you do not know when death is coming.
Wow.
So there is no certainty. So the principle is that because this human form of life is so important to perfect oneself in Krishna consciousness, he should not waste even 1 minute.
Ooh.
Therefore, we don't allow unnecessary sporting. So that's the point. And I just saw all this history going on. But what is happening? Some conditioned soul is moving his dead body. So
Yeah.
he's more, he's faster than another one. And at the end of the day, he gains some golden thing, just decoration of the dead body. No one gains spiritual understanding, and everyone will die and become an animal. But this is a Kali Yuga where a small animal is glorifying a bigger animal. And they are all chanting these national songs, Oh, I'm a French now. And next birth, you are going to be a cockroach in Colombia. So what is this nonsense? So this is just glorification of the mode of passion, material gains, material objective, no God consciousness. I am the enjoyer, I am the best. And at the end of the day, it's very sad because everyone is wasting his time uselessly and they do not know where they will get in future life. And we are not pessimistic when we say like this. We can think, oh, you are just, morose and be sad in your corner. No. We are the best friend to everyone. Don't waste your time unnecessarily. That's all, Hare Krishna.
Very well
Prabhu,
spoken.
could I say something?
Go ahead, please, Mother.
This is Rupa Manjari Devi Dasi.
Yes, go ahead, please. Thank you.
First, please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas on this call. All
Yes.
glories to Srila Prabhupada. Well, first of all, Vishwakarma, I just wanted to say I was very inspired by what you read at the beginning of the class. It was really amazing. And you presented it and then you discussed it in a really intelligent and inspiring way. Like I felt very positive energy, very clear, focused knowledge. So thank you for that. And the other thing I wanted to, and also Yashodanandam Prabhu, very inspiring as well. Like your chanting of Sanskrit deeply impresses me. The way you're able to just fluidly chant. I can't do that. I mean, I'm okay with Sanskrit, but you're expert. And I hope to learn more and more from you as the years go by. And I hope both of you will be with us many more years. And I'm praying to Kṛṣṇa and to Lord Shiva for your good health, and that your message and your vision will spread to the four corners of the world. This is my dream. And my request to everybody on this call is that you utilize every form of communication you have, both in person and online, to stress the supreme importance, the absolute imperative importance of only printing Srila Prabhupada's original books. And we need to come from a place of courage and not fear. I think we've been fearing the GBC and like intimidated, and cowed out of taking appropriate action. But the world is changing. Prabhupada said, this Krishna consciousness movement will go down in history as having saved the world in its momentous hour of need. So that hour of need is upon us. We're seeing so many atrocities. We're seeing so much violence. And people, especially the younger generations, are starting to wake up. The work that Purajit is doing, the work that you are doing, and even the ISKCON gurus are doing a service. They are. It's obviously not a perfect service. They're obviously very compromised. But my proposal to them is give 50% of everything you've taken from Prabhupada. Just 50%, because Prabhupada said, give 50% of your income. So I think that's a pretty fucking fair offer. Excuse my language. That's a pretty fair offer to say, look, Radhanath, you have like what, $100 million? Fine. Take half of it, give the other half back to ISKCON, and let Srila Prabhupada's mission be paid for with that money, which is what it was intended for and why people donated it. So we need to be upfront. We need to confront these people, not from a place of rage or reactivity, but from a place of confidence, saying, look, what you're doing is not in line with Krishna. It's not in line. What you're doing is not in line with Srila Prabhupada. And we have had enough. We want a GBC that is elected every 3 years by the temple presidents. That is not too much to ask. They are doing that in ISKCON Bangalore. All we need to do is keep opening new temples with the direction of management as the founding constitutional charter of each temple. And every item of Prabhupada's will, every item of the direction of management, every item in his letters, every item in his lectures, every item in his instructions for management, particularly his instructions to Kṛṣṇa Das. Something I want to tell all of you who are going to be opening temples now and in the future. Prabhupada said that the temple should lay its account books on the front steps of the temple. That means every person who walks by can look in that book and say, where did this person's, Mr. Das's donation go to? It went for the Goshala, it went for publishing books, it went for paying off a mortgage on a property, whatever. Every cent has to be accounted for. And I am telling you what I have realized, my friends, is that if you are totally transparent with your finances, people will donate to you. If you have integrity and they can see it for themselves and everything you say is in writing, on the front steps, literally, of the temple. Literally, there should be a podium with every cent accounted for. Just like Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada accounted for the last paisa in starting this ISKCON movement, which he did from $7 USD. $7, like 40 rupees, nothing. The only thing that Srila Prabhupada had was his faith. So we are standing at his lotus feet, and we are experiencing a taste of what that faith is like. And when we have that absolute faith in Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and all of the demigods and demigoddesses who are controlling every aspect of this material creation, we will experience their blessings. So I thank you so much for listening to me. Again, let's get the word out. We need original books. This is the singular most important thing that we can do. If we get back original books, everything else will fall perfectly into place. Cow slaughter will be taken out. All this evil, negative stuff will be taken out. The people in power will lose their power. And again, they should be given the same offer. Mr. Rothschild, you're worth how many $1 trillion? Give half of it to Krishna and keep the other half for your selfish, greedy self. I don't give a crap. But donate half to God. Because God created you and God gave you life. God gave you a family. God gave you a place in society. God gave you a really nice life. You can help out others now. Poverty, no excuse for poverty. Homelessness, no excuse for homelessness. Drug abuse, no excuse for drug abuse. And alcoholism. Alcohol is such a poison, it's not even funny. It has destroyed so many lives. I've talked to so many people who I told them, oh, I don't drink. And they're like, oh, I can't imagine not drinking. So this is very sad because alcohol is liquid meat. It's dead. Just like when you eat meat, you become dead because meat is dead. So is alcohol. So I dream of a world where there's no alcohol. I don't think we should eat foods or drink drinks that are in the mode of ignorance, and alcohol and meat are completely in the mode of ignorance. So we need to establish sattvic lifestyles. We need to establish varnashram communities. Every person on this call is qualified to be an ISKCON temple president and a Ritvik initiating guru by the grace of Vishwakarma Prabhu and Yashodanandan Prabhu and my late great husband, Naranarayan Das Vishwakarma, who gave me 2 extraordinary children. Extraordinary. So we need to get people married. We need to establish grihastha ashrams and produce Krishna conscious children, not Varna Sankara, not unwanted progeny. We want wanted progeny that is coming in from the Garbhadan Samskar. Yeah, we need to perform the Garbhadan Samskar and have auspicious children. Okay, I've talked enough. I'm so sorry to take up your time, you guys. I love you all very much. And I wish you all success in your preaching efforts, all success in distributing Prabhupada's books. Blessings always, and much love and deep respects. Haribol.
Thank you very much. I wanted to mention for everyone here that we are working on a project in France with Bhakta Jad, and it is the reprinting of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, unchanged and unedited. So that is a work in progress along with the printing of the Delhi Bhagavatams, which was a point that you made, which was very well given. Yashodanandana Prabhu, if you could possibly give us a few words after this discussion.
I want to come back to, thank you very much, Mataji, first of all, for your various suggestions, very well taken. I want to come back to this point about the offering of Bhoga and the difference between Bhoga and Prasadam. Now, I'm quite aware of the multitude of arguments on both sides of the issue. I was involved in 1976 in reviewing the original draft of the Achan Padati that Prabhupada had requested. Prabhupada requested a 20-page book that would summarize the Hari Bhakti Vilas, and it ended up to be something entirely different. Now, with the advent of the living guru philosophy infiltrating ISKCON, they've changed the method of offering boga, that the method that was given by Srila Prabhupada, the original way of offering boga, was never changed by Srila Prabhupada. There is no record anywhere that anybody can show that Prabhupada, prior to his departure from this world on the 14th of November, 1977, well, he's always here, but at that time, there is no record anywhere Prabhupada changed everything I've given for offering the boga, offering the artik. No, there's no such record. The system that he gave is that you should offer the prayers in a certain way. 3 times to the spiritual master, Namo Vishnu Padaya, Namaste Saraswati Devi. 3 times to Lord Chaitanya, Namo Mahabhadanyaya. 3 times to Lord Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devaya. And of course, we have mentioned this with love and devotion. That's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Yome Bhaktya Pranyachati. What they have done is a complete total concoction, as we have discussed in that booklet they have produced. They're imagining, they're concocting, they're manufacturing this idea that their guru is taking prasadam with Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Well, it might be true. We don't deny. I just don't want to say something that might be been misunderstood. But this is not something that Prabhupada ever said in public. Now, anybody can imagine that they're dancing with Krishna or jumping on the trampoline and taking prasadam with Krishna. But the reality of what we're seeing by their behavior and how they're disrespecting and disobeying Prabhupada's instruction, specifically on how to offer boga, specifically on how to offer artik, according to Prabhupada's instruction, we know that these people are disconnected. What they are eating is something else. It is not prasadam according to the instruction of the Acharya. If anybody wants to debate us on this, we can. We'll take them on. They don't show up. We can have a panel with Nilesh Prabhu and Bhaktajad and Krishna Prabhu, Krishna Bhakta Prabhu. You know, we can have a panel, Vishwakarma Prabhu, and debate the issues. They won't show up. Their attitude is, we're in charge, we're in power, and here it is. Follow what we say. Sorry, sir. We're only following what you say when you say what Prabhupada says. Yes, Nilesh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I see the frustration. Rupa Manjari Devidasi's commentary. I can see the frustration in Yashodanand Prabhu's commentary when this discussion was so-called done. But remember one thing. Shasan means governance. Shasan can be done in 2 ways. Shastra and Shastra. Rupa Manjari Devidasi is telling about all the atrocities which are being done, the violence which has been propagated. Why? Because they cannot debate on Shastra. Shastra does not support them. So how will they govern? How will they govern? The Shasan cannot be done with Shastra only. So that is why they have to use Shastra or weapons or violence to bring about governance in the so-called ISKCON. And Mataji had a question over here for, I think, Rupa Manjari Devi.
Devi Dasi. I have a question is about what you said that Prabhupada said to put the account books at the footsteps of the temple. Is there a source? I would love to have that for myself, if there is a source where I can keep it for myself.
What we can do is arrange to send that to Nilesh from our staff, let's say. And
Okay.
you can also Google it on,
Wikipedia.
online. And
Vanipedia.
hopefully, yeah, you'll be able to find it. So thank you, by the way, for participating, along with Nilesh, who's really a good
Well, thank you.
friend of ours, and we appreciate everything. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're a little over time. That's okay. It's our time, and it's a good time for us to associate with each other and go deep into this philosophy in these discussions and get some real insights in Krishna's service and Prabhupada's mission without any adulteration. So thank you. Don't forget, please send in your Vyas Puja offerings to us, to Hare Krishna Society or Yashoda Nandana Prabhu's email. Yashoda, repeat your email for us.
My email is yasoda1008@yahoo.com. YASODA1008@yahoo.com. YASODA1008@yahoo.com.
Yes. So
Can I ask a question?
we're just finishing up Mataji because we're over time. If you can save
it's
it for tomorrow.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
No,
Let's
it's a
do
quick
that.
question.
Go ahead.
Can I use the one I used last year, because that's exactly how I feel. Can I use the same one this year? Because I don't want to write anything else. I'd like to just use the same
That's
one.
fine.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Just
Just make a note to just put in the same one that I said last year, because it's still current. That's exactly how I feel.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Haribol.
I wanted to mention at the end, we have a new exit, Nilesh, from the show that was created by Bhaktajad. So please stay on. We're going to hear the chanting of Hare Krishna by Srila Prabhupada from the 60s, playing the bongo. And that's also very good. And our Vanchakalpa prayers, and then the ending. So stay tuned. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and we're full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this program. We invite everybody to join us tomorrow morning at 7:00 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, corresponding to 10:00 a.m. Hamilton, Ontario, and an Eastern-born time in the USA. And we just want to let you know we are still diligently working, trying to get the Srimad Bhagavatam printed. There have been a few legal issues in India with the BBT and the BBTI suing various devotees, and we've been advised to be very careful about the behavior of some of these individuals. But we are proceeding ahead, preparing the various necessary material for the printing. We ask that you kindly be patient with us. It will get done. This is our sacred mission to protect the devotional and literary legacy of Srila Prabhupada and move forward to reestablish the bona fide original Krishna consciousness movement. Thanks everybody for participating. Let us listen to the end of the program. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai, very
Krishna, Hare
nice.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.